Overdependence on China for economic development could be a disastrous option for any country, and Pakistan and Sri Lanka are the most recent examples, both of which are currently experiencing a severe financial crisis. Welcome to Kaumudy Global, and this is Anjana for you. It is no coincidence that Pakistan and Sri Lanka have benefited both from China's economic help. Instead of becoming more resilient, they collapsed in the aftermath of pandemic-induced worldwide economic disaster. Pakistan, an all-weather friend of China, which according to a recent World Bank report, now finds its place in the world's 10 largest borrowers. Pakistan owes most of its debt to China. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project, which aims to connect Gwadar port in Pakistan's Balochistan with China's Xinjiang province, is a flagship project of China's Belt and Road Initiative. Further, it has been argued by various analysts that China is using debt-trapped diplomacy to gain access to strategic assets in Pakistan. The infrastructure projects in Pakistan were financed by Chinese banks. Meanwhile, the crisis in Sri Lanka was apparent after the pandemic that dried up the international tourist traffic to the island nation, one of its main foreign exchange earners. The country's debt spiraled and foreign exchange reserves shrunk as the end result of reckless borrowings from China to finance infrastructure projects. With tourism hit by the pandemic, the economic structure of Sri Lanka, which was already tottering under the heavy burden of loans, crumbled. A major part of this debt was owed to China, which accounts for nearly $8 billion. This debt burden was a result of China's Belt and Road Initiative projects like Hambantota Port and Colombo Port City, for which Chinese agencies lent large amounts to Sri Lanka under stiff terms of repayment. Notably, in 2021-22, Colombo's debt repayment to Beijing amounted to nearly $2 billion. Further, Hambantota Port has already been leased out to China for 99 years against $1.2 billion. In the face of deepening foreign exchange crisis, Sri Lanka President Gotabaya Rajapakse sought China's help in December 2021 as he requested a debt restructuring in a meeting with China Foreign Minister Wang Yi. However, Beijing has reportedly shown Colombo the door. Ironically, the deeply pro-China Rajapakse government dug its own grave as it had booted out the Millennium Challenge Corporation of the USA with its offer to extend developmental assistance grant to Colombo as board of directors of MCC, discontinued its $480 million contract with Sri Lanka in December 2020 due to the lack of partner country engagement. Further, China-assisted projects in Sri Lanka are likely to deepen the indebtedness of the island nation. Notably, China refused to assist Sri Lanka, which appealed to reschedule its huge Chinese debt burden in the face of the COVID-19 outbreak that has adversely affected the tourism sector. Chinese loans have come to a hefty cost for Pakistan and Sri Lanka. The slow bleeding would have continued for a few more years without the extent of the damage being recognized by them. While the warnings by experts have been ignored by Colombo and Islamabad alike, the pandemic followed by the Ukraine-Russia conflict has exposed how vulnerable both economies had become due to indiscriminate borrowing from China. Two countries going down almost the same exact way is not a coincidence. Other countries tempted by the Chinese-inspired dream of rapid economic progress need to think twice before embracing economic engagement with the China's debt-trap policy. Whether it will make them more resilient or vulnerable to shocks is a question they need to ask. This is Anjana signing off. Do like and share this video. For further updates, subscribe to Kaumudy Global.